coming in today, we get to make sure, you all, that the people of Chicago will finally have what they've been waiting for. The most radical thing we can ever do, you all, is to actually love people. And our administration will do just that. Today, the dream is alive. And so today, we celebrate the revival and the resurrection of the city of Chicago. It is time for Chicago to come alive. Come alive, Chicago. My name is Brandon Johnson, and I can't wait to be sworn in as the next mayor of the greatest city in the world, Chicago.
Yes. And we are back here on WLTH 1370 AM. Free Speech Friday, Issues and Answers. I am Scott Cannon, flying solo. No Reverend Delwyn Campbell. He is doing his pastoral duties for Good Friday. So peace be with you, brother. Do what you got to do. As you heard in the intro, that was the new mayor-elect of the city of Chicago, a race that not only really changed the landscape politically in Chicago, but nationwide. People nationwide are talking about this election. So let's start from the beginning. Brandon Johnson, a union organizer and former teacher, was elected as Chicago's next mayor on Tuesday in a major victory for the Democratic Party's progressive wing as the heavily blue city grapples with high crime and financial challenges. Johnson, a Cook County commissioner endorsed by the CTU, Chicago Teachers Union, won a close race over former Chicago school CEO Paul Vallas, who was backed by the police union. Johnson will succeed Lori Lightfoot, the first black woman and the first openly gay person to be the city's mayor. With about 91% of the vote counted, Johnson had 51% to Paul Vallas' 48%. More votes will be counted. Now, Lightfoot, as you guys can remember, became the first Chicago mayor in 40 years to lose her re-election bid when she finished third in a crowded February contest. Now, Johnson's victory in Chicago was stunning because this is a guy who was very little known when he entered this race last year. He climbed to the top of the field with organizing and financial help from the Chicago Teachers Union and people like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Bernie Sanders even showed up at a rally for Johnson in the final days of the race. It was a huge win for progressive organizations like the Teachers Union. And it also comes as groups like Our Revolution, a powerful progressive advocacy organization, pushed to win more offices and local and state office. He took many of the predominantly black southern and western sides. And I remember when the runoff happened, when the first runoff happened, and Lori Lightfoot lost, people forgot she took the black parts of Chicago. So when you looked at Paul Vallas' total in the first round, you weren't understanding that once Lori Lightfoot's coalition of black people in the South and West Side picked a candidate, that candidate would be buoyed very much by them. And that's why I always felt like Brandon Johnson had a chance. People were looking at Paul Vallas way ahead, and I was going, don't wait now. Because if you put Brandon Johnson and Lori Lightfoot's support together, you will have a formidable coalition, and that's exactly what you had. Ultimately, after teaching middle and high school, Johnson helped mobilize teachers, including during a historic 2012 strike through which the Chicago Teachers Union increased its organizing muscle and influence in city politics. I remember that. that included fighting for non-classroom issues such as housing and mental care. Vallas was the only white candidate in that field. Don't believe that wasn't part of his appeal to a lot of people. He was a former Chicago budget director. He later led schools in Chicago, New Orleans, Philadelphia, and Bridgeport, Connecticut. The biggest disputes between them was how to address crime. Like many U.S. cities, Chicago saw a violent crime increase during COVID-19, hitting a 25-year high of 797 homicides in 2021, though that number decreased last year, and the city has a lower murder rate than other cities in the Midwest like St. Louis. Vallas said he would hire hundreds of more police officers, while Johnson said he didn't plan to cut the number of officers, but that the current system of policing isn't working. Johnson was forced to defend past statements expressing support for defunding police, something he insisted he would not do as mayor. But Johnson did argue that instead of investing in policing and incarceration, the city should focus on mental health treatment, affordable housing for all, and jobs for young people. He proposed a plan he says will raise $800 million by taxing the ultra-rich individuals and businesses, including a per-employee head tax on employers and an additional tax on hotel room stays. Now, this plan is controversial, as some members of the city council and the state legislature whose support would be needed have already expressed opposition. This was a very inspiring race for me personally. You guys know, if you listen to the show regularly, I am no fan of the Democratic or Republican parties. I don't support either generally. But locally, I think you can have individuals like Brandon Johnson who can make a difference. And so I was rooting for the brother. I really was. And I'm glad to see that in spite a lot of black elites supporting Paul Vallas and beclowning themselves, that the black population of Chicago sort of saw through who Paul Vallas really was. Now, who is Paul Vallas exactly? He is known for his contempt of teachers' unions, and he is known for his ability to capitalize on disasters to upend public school systems. This is a man who went into Chicago, Philadelphia, New Orleans, Haiti, Chile, and Bridgeport, Connecticut. Playing the role of consultant, he advised post-earthquake Haiti in 2010 to implement free market education reforms, similar to those imposed during the dictatorship in Chile. You know, that dictatorship that we helped foment, that put Augusto Pinochet in office and ended with the death of democratically elected Salvador Allende? Yeah, that one. And also in post-Katrina New Orleans. He proposed a plan for former Haitian President Michel Martelly's government to tax all citizens, international phone calls, and wire transfers, funneling the money to provide tuition vouchers for privatized schools. So that's what he does. He privatizes schools. Schooling is something that most societies and most of the countries in the world view as a right. Not something that has to be lorded over people's head, which is what happens when you privatize schools. Now, in Chicago, former Mayor Richard M. Daley, the son, put Vallas in charge of Chicago public schools in 1995. Vallas tried to reduce the CPS budget, but there are plenty of red flags from his time in office, such as $2 billion a $2 billion debt crisis resulting from his reorganization of pension payments as this played out for them over there. So from 2002 to 2007, he executed a series of interest rate swap agreements with Wall Street banks, including Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs, to transform their floating rate debt into fixed rate debt. These decisions cost the taxpayers $330 million in losses. News reports and audits say that he left that school district with a $73 million deficit. In New Orleans, there had been a few schools in recovery zones before the storm, which facilitated the turning over of public schools to charter operators. Well, here we go once again, the charter schools. As he came into leadership, he oversaw moving the entire district into a recovery zone. All 7,500 New Orleans teachers were fired under this policy. The teachers were then asked to reapply for their jobs, a majority of them who were black, and the administrators, the teachers, the paraprofessionals, thousands of them lost their jobs, and it had a devastating effect on the racial balance of not only the education community in New Orleans, but also the black middle class. So that's who Paul Vallas was. But to me, looking at this race, it brought home to me something that I've been thinking about a lot very recently, is that there is a black misleadership class in this country. There's a black misleadership class in this country. We see it with people like Jim Clyburn, who use their vicinity, their credibility from being back from the civil rights era to essentially whitewash the sins of the corporate Democratic Party and their ties to Wall Street, their ties to the health insurance companies, the big banks, all that. And you see it time and time again. And you saw so many of these types in Chicago sticking up for Paul Vallas. I was shocked to see how many black people who are willing to stick their neck out there and support Paul Vallas in spite of what they knew he did to the school system and to those neighborhoods in Chicago and New Orleans and Philadelphia and Haiti. This man is an international crook. But you had so many black misleadership class members willing to stick their necks out for this man. I'm glad that Black Chicago did not go for it. Congratulations to the brother Brandon Johnson. Let me hit this caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing, Brother Scott?
It's all good.
That's good. Have anyone ever told you that you and Godwin sound alike?
No, I haven't heard that. But hey, we're both from the first district, so we're both from the first district. Maybe it's a Miller thing.
Oh, okay. But you know how Trumpy gonna get off of that paying money situation?
How?
He gonna say that he didn't use no campaign money and he's rich, so he can do whatever he wants to with his money.
I think it might work. Don't get me wrong. Like the case, everybody was sort of disappointed at the case that Alvin Bragg put forward.
Right.
Even a lot of people who don't particularly care for Donald Trump. So I was thinking, oh man, this is the best y'all got. Like. Right.
But you know, it seemed like he probably knew this was coming, because some of the stuff that he's been saying is kind of like making some of the young Democrats think they wanted to vote for him.
Yeah. And this is the problem when you have, once again, I talk about this all the time. If you let Donald Trump be the one who talks about the military-industrial complex, if you let him be the one who talks about the fact that we are sending billions of dollars to Ukraine while East Palestine, Ohio, is drinking poison water, and Flint, Michigan is drinking poison water, then that's how you help Donald Trump. And so, unfortunately, we have a corporate liberal media that does that, and so they ultimately they suffer. We suffer the consequences.
Yeah, but I heard earlier today that he had his own film crew filming him walking, getting out to his car, SUV, walking into the courtroom, right?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
And you know that joker using it in a commercial.
Oh yeah, he's already got the commercials up.
Yeah, they say he's using it. He's gonna use it in a commercial if it's not already out.
Oh man!
I said, boy, this one person that actually told the world that he can assassinate somebody right in the middle of the street. Yep. And that happened to him. So,
and he's probably not wrong. He is probably not wrong. The people who would vote for Donald Trump would vote for him even if he assassinated somebody in the middle of the street.
Wow! But when they showed that image in the courtroom, I was sure when somebody would have walked up and said, "You're fired," because he had a worrisome look on his face. Yeah, he had a worrisome look on his face.
Hey, that perp walk can make anybody nervous. I'm sorry. It's real. It is real when you get to that perp walk stage.
Oh,
that is real. Okay.
All right. Well, you have a great day.
But thank you.
I'll chat with you a little later.
It's all good, brother. Thank you, and call back anytime. I got to get this next caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Good evening. How you doing?
It's all good, brother. What's up with you?
Okay. I'm just letting everybody know they're not going to do a doggone thing to Donald Trump. I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to be surprised. And I want to know how much he paid them brothers to be standing behind him when he be making them speeches and carrying on. They back there holding them signs and cheering him on. How much he paid them guys?
Oh man, it's got to be something. He had you got Blacks for Trump. Have you seen the Blacks for Trump people?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those Blacks for Trump. They're an organization. They're an organization. Yeah.
Standing back there, skinning and grinning and waving his signs, and oh boy, just like when he was the president, he went down to the black church. Really? When the last time he been back there?
Oh, he ain't. You know, Donald Trump is not going to no black church. Come on now, not regularly. He was.
Oh, he was there.
No, I mean I don't doubt he showed up to take a few pictures. But I'm saying he ain't doing that regularly. You know that.
Yeah, he went. They back there singing. He all off beat. Called himself eyes closed like he really into it. He's all off beat.
But that's the name of American politics, brother. They use us.
What do he always say? I'm smart.
Yeah.
I'm smart. So they're gonna find some loophole in this crap, and they ain't gonna do nothing to him. So don't be surprised. All right.
I'm not, because I think he's getting off too. Thank you for your call.
All right.
All right, brother. We got to go to our second break. Please stay with us here on WLTH 1370 AM, 1370 AM, 92.7 in the FM dial. It is a quarter to till. So we'll be right back right after these.
Hi, I'm Anthony Manuel, and I'm running to be your 3rd District Councilman. I believe together we can make a difference. I hope that you will support me in my efforts to improve the quality of life we all desire and deserve in our 3rd District in the city of Erie. I am Anthony Manuel, and I approve this message.